It's a pimp named Slaughter here, letting you know that you are watching Comic Book Addicts with S. Vaughn 82, my brother.
That's right, y'all. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Comic Book Addicts. This is episode 80. We're back. I missed last week. I apologize for not going live last week. I had every means, or I wanted to really bad. It was an emergency situation with the car. So I apologize for not being here last week, but we are back this week. We have a great guest. But I did want to say Austin Light will be back. We've rescheduled it, so he will be back very soon. So if you were looking forward to seeing him, I was looking forward to it myself. He will be back later on. So I wanted to mention that. But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great week so far. It's Monday, July 29th, the start to a brand new week, and coming off a weekend of some pretty big stuff. We had Deadpool and Wolverine. Did you guys have a chance to go see Deadpool and Wolverine? I got to go see it Saturday, and it was pretty amazing. But it did awesome at the box office. 438 million global debut is pretty amazing. But I really enjoyed the movie. I'm not going to give away too much because maybe some of you haven't seen it yet. But if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. It's awesome. It's really cool. And San Diego Comic-Con, there were so many amazing announcements. Probably the biggest one was and I thought I had an overlay for that. Well, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom was probably the biggest announcement, but we got a lot of really cool comic book announcements. They're doing a TVA comic for Marvel. Miss Minutes will make her debut in comics. I'm really excited about that one. And we're getting some really cool toys. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big toy collector, Marvel Legends in particular, and these are just some of the Marvel Legends that were announced this past weekend, and I'm looking forward to a lot of these. Definitely going to be picking up a bunch of these. Brown suit Wolverine. Finally, we're getting Lockjaw in a 2-pack, so that's going to be really cool. We're getting the movie accurate Wolverine and Deadpool, and Headpool comes in a pack with Logan. We're getting a 2-pack of Sentinels, Punisher 2-pack, and that Doctor Strange 2-pack, and there's so many others. And so many other toy line announcements too, but so much cool stuff coming off of that. What was your favorite announcement? Let me know in the comments what the coolest thing that you saw from San Diego Comic-Con was. But hope everybody's having a good week. We still got the CBC Award nominations running. They got another, let's see, we're going into August. I think August 15th is when it ends. So nominations are running for another couple of weeks. There are so many great content creators in this community, including the guests tonight. So many good people to nominate. Be sure you do that. www.cbcawards.org and nominate your favorite channels. Quick and easy to do. But Monday also means the Monday night lineup. I wanted to be sure to shout out everybody going live this evening. Izzy kicks it off with his comic book weekly pull list at 6:30 p.m. And then it's just a whole nonstop night of comic book related live streams from there. So if you've never checked these out, a lot of good ones to pick from. We got Council of Comics, Between the Lines, 22 Comics doing his top 10 alternatives, and Cuppo Comics with his Monday Night Raw books. A lot of really good live streams. So be sure to check those out if you guys have not checked them out before. Let's see who we got in the chat, because we got a bunch of people in the chat, it looks like. First off, as usual, we have Los Crucius saying good morning. He was here at 10:33 this morning saying good morning. And he also said, hooray, woohoo, and hello from New Mexico. Hello from Chattanooga, Tennessee, Los Crucius. Thank you so much for being here this evening, man. Thank you. We got DVH, Dr. Von Hoot in the house. He says, evening all. Good evening, Dr. Von Hoot, or whatever time it is where you are. I hope you're having a great evening, night. I don't know what time it is where you are. Let me know in the comments, man. I know it's probably late, I think, where you're at. I hope you're having a good night. Good evening, Tony. What's up, man? He says, good evening, Scotty and Gary B. Thank you for being here, Tony. And I had fun with him on a live stream last week. We were playing around with some Marvel Legends and DC toys on a live stream. Me, him, and Frank. It was a lot of fun. And he says, good evening, everyone, as well. We got Las Crucias saying, hey to Hoot. We got Digger Jim saying, okay, who is this Gary guy again? What's up, Digger Jim? I see Digger Jim every week on New Comic Book Day. We're always on Chris the Comic Vets Show Us What You Got live stream together. So I always enjoy hanging out with Jim on Wednesdays. So what's up, Jim? Hope you're having a great night, man. P2 Phil, what's up, man? He says, I think I saw his picture at the post office. Nice. What's up, Phil? I hope you're having a great evening, sir. We got KBDM. What's up? He says, what up, everyone? What's going on, KBDM? Thank you for coming out, man. Skimming down, we got my comic pops. Lorenzo, he says, hey, Scotty. Hi, everyone. Best comic book reviews in the game. If you've never checked out his channel, Indies Comics and Reviews, go check him out. And he's an amazing artist as well and writer. Just talented, multi-talented guy, my comic pops. We got Brian LCS in the house. He says, evening all. President of the CBC Awards, and I'd mentioned the CBC Awards just a second ago. We got about 2 more weeks, guys. It's July 29th. So we got about 16 days. So 17 days to vote, nominate your favorite channel. So quick and easy, no reason to do so. Can you give me the lottery number, DVH? Just skimming down through here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. We got my homie Collecting with Durst. He says, time for that massive. Much love, pimps and legends. Welcome, Durst. Hope you're having a great evening, man. Let's see, skimming down through here, making sure I don't miss anybody and making sure I don't miss anything on my. Oh yeah, we got some really cool stuff coming up on Comic Book Addicts that I wanted to mention before I bring Gary out. Next week, did any of you guys grow up on Ernest P. Worrell like I did? Did anybody watch Ernest Scared Stupid or Ernest Goes to Camp or any of those movies growing up? Were any of you guys childhood fans of Ernest or actor Jim Varney, I should say? Because if you were, you'll be excited to learn that they are bringing back Ernest in graphic novel form. And I'm super excited to read this. But next week on Comic Book Addicts, we're going to have writer Corey Perkins. And he's going to be talking about the new graphic novel. I think it's called Ernest and the Dreamstone. But if you want to know more information on this book, you can go to the website or scan the QR code on the screen, and it'll take you there. But I'm looking forward to talking to Corey about this series. That's going to be awesome. And then we got a giveaway coming up in August. I wanted to give back to everybody that supported me, you guys that come out and hang out on Comic Book Addicts every Monday. Despite me doing horrible sometimes, having bad internet sometimes, you guys come out and you support me every week. So I wanted to do a big giveaway before the summer was over. So on August 19th, I had commissioned artist Dan Worms to do a new logo for Comic Book Addicts. I wanted to have an official, cool looking logo for this live stream. So he agreed to do so, and I feel blessed that he agreed to do so. It's going to be awesome. And so he was going to come on August 19th anyways, but Dan from Crafty Comics was willing to do a giveaway, and he got together with Dan Worms, the artist, and they put together this amazing giveaway for August 19th. Durs is going to be coming on to run the giveaway via StreamYard giveaway tool, and we're going to unveil the new logo and do an amazing giveaway. It's going to be some original art from artist Dan Worms, and I'll throw an example up on the screen. This is just an example, but he said it definitely would be a cool Doom piece. So I just wanted you guys to be aware. The only things that you'll need to do is make sure that you're following artist Dan Worms on Instagram, and also make sure you're following Crafty Comics, because they will be donating a flex slab. The art will be coming in a flex slab and get mailed straight to the winner. So all you got to be doing is follow those two guys, be subscribed to this channel, and be hanging out on Comic Book Addicts on August 19th when we do the giveaway. And that is it. That's all there is to it. But anyways, let me stop blabbing because we got a cool guest tonight. I want to get him out here. But I just had to mention that giveaway because that is an awesome giveaway, and I feel really blessed that Dan from Crafty Comics and Dan Worms would do so. I thought that was really cool of them to do so. But anyways, our guest this evening, let me bring him out here. Our guest this evening is he's a talented writer. He dropped his own book earlier this year. He is also a fellow comic book collector and enthusiast, and he's also a YouTube content creator. who goes by the name Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy. Y'all help me welcome Gary B to the live stream. If I can, oh, hit the wrong button. What's up, Gary B? You're muted. Hey, you're muted, man.
There we go. Better?
There you go. Yes. What's up, Gary?
Oh, not much, man. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'm also called a few other names that aren't fit for your show, but we'll keep those quiet.
Well, thank you so much for being here. First off, man, I know your Mondays and Tuesdays are super busy. So for you to give me a little bit of your time, man, is a blessing. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening.
Oh, no problem. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Awesome. Yeah, man, I wanted to talk to you. I always thought you were a really cool guy. You're multi-talented. Like I was saying before, you're a writer. You've written many books. You're a comic book collector. That's how I met you. That's how I found out about you, is because we're both comic book collectors and in the community. And you also do a really cool YouTube channel, Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy. So I definitely wanted to have you on here and talk about all of those things. But for anybody that may be watching that is not familiar, I can't imagine anybody wouldn't be familiar with you. But just in case, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm just an older nerd. That's all. I started the channel during the whole COVID thing. I needed something to do. I just got back into collecting again because Conan was going back to Marvel. So, and I tried my hand doing a little bit of things with here and there with a few other people, and it just felt like I needed to do my own thing. So I had control of my own content. So I did that. And just launched my own channel, not expecting anyone to watch. I had 5 subscribers when I started. And I think my first shout out was Stevie B Comics, then Metarog, and then Rod the Rican. So all 3 of those guys gave me shout outs in the beginning. And
all very cool people.
Yeah, and I was just horrible. I mean, not like I'm great now, but even going back to those old videos, I was like, whew, I was rough even for me. So they're tough to look at. Like going back and watching my old videos is not a fun time for me.
Oh, mine are horrible. Mine are god awful. If you want to feel better about your old videos, go look at mine. I promise you mine are probably worse. But where are you from? Where are you out of?
So I'm in Rochester, New York, but I'm originally from Plattsburgh, New York. But that's just a little nothing town with nothing to do there. You had like 3 things you could do. You could eat, you could drink, or you could watch a movie, and that was it. And it just bored me to tears to be there. When I got a chance to move, I did.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I met you obviously and learned about you through the comic book community. What got you into comics, and what age do you think that you were when you did get into comic books?
Oh, I was really young. Like, really? I'm not that person that remembers their first comic. I had them since I was a little kid. But my dad would bring them home. Sometimes he'd get given a box of them, and they'd have all sorts in it. Like some of the first comics I read were like Team Up, Brave and the Bold. Obviously, Conan was in there, and so it was, and a couple Savage Swords. But even back in the day, like bringing home like the old Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes, because I've read all the Sherlock Holmes stories from him and loved those as a kid too.
Sweet. What were some of your favorite characters, would you say?
Oh, it was always Conan was always the Spider-Man and Team Up. And I did like Batman and the Brave and the Bold. That blue and gray costume with the yellow emblem is always going to be my favorite.
I love that
just
costume.
My Batman growing up. But I liked I really like Savage Sword because it felt like I shouldn't be reading it because it was made for more of an adult crowd. So as a kid, you always had that stigma with it. Oh, I shouldn't be reading this. You felt like you were getting away with something.
Yeah. No, I totally relate to that. I had books like that when I was a kid as well.
Well, my parents were pretty easy on me. If I wanted to read something, they let me read it. If I wanted to listen to something, they let me. I mean, I was a young kid in the 70s. Like I was listening to the Prince Controversy cassette and all that stuff. And my parents knew the lyrics that were on it, but they knew I was old enough to process it and handle it, and they just let me be me.
That's really cool. So now me and my mom, we had a deal. I had to make good grades. When Dr. Dre the Chronic came out, I wanted that cassette tape so bad. And that puts a date that dates me. That totally dates me. I'm old. But
I'm
anyways,
older than you, so I'm 54.
yeah, you do have me there. But when Dr. Dre the Chronic came out on cassette tape, I had to be making good grades. I had to bring home a good report card to be able to get that cassette tape. So I was able to get explicit material, but I had to do good to get it until I got a little bit older. And then that was all out the window. I just got it on my own.
Yeah, and and that
bootleg.
was yeah, that was just me, right? Because I always had whatever Prince was putting out, I had to have it. Because I've been a Prince fan my whole life. He'll always be one of my favorite musicians.
Oh, no
So
doubt.
every time something came out, I had to have it. So I always got it, which was nice. And I was also a late night kid. So my whole life, I've survived for the most part on 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night. Even when I was in
Oh,
school,
wow.
I always wanted to stay up. I wanted to watch Late Night with Johnny Carson. I wanted to watch David Letterman. And the deal with my parents was, if you get up and you're on time for school, you can watch it. Well, I was always the last person asleep in the house, 1:30. I was always the first person awake, and that was like 5:30. I know it. No one beat me getting up. No one stayed up as late as me. And I was watching Johnny Carson and David Letterman every night. I loved those shows growing up.
I used to love the late shows too. I'm in bed pretty early now, but I used to love staying up and watching those shows also.
And that was before MTV too. So on Friday night, you had Friday night videos where I lived, and I would stay up to watch all the Friday night videos.
Absolutely. Hell yeah, I would too. Headbangers Ball. We had a lot of cool, wasn't it Headbangers Ball that came on really, really late on MTV?
Yeah, but the show I was watching was before MTV.
Oh, okay.
So that's when videos were on, like an hour and a half syndicated show.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant MTV. My bad.
Right. And that was, and this was just called Friday Night Videos where I lived. So every Friday night they come on at 11 o'clock and it go to like 12:30.
Okay. I never heard of that. Well, let's see. Do you remember the books or, well, you already said that. Hold on. Let me skip that. You were talking about Prince, man. He's an amazing musician. That's something about Prince that I didn't figure out until I was older, was how good of a musician he was. Like when I was a
songwriter.
Yeah, like I didn't know all that when I was a kid. I found all that out when I was a little bit older, but he was a badass guitarist.
One of the best in the world.
Yeah, and I didn't know that till I got older.
And then so many bands, they had their hits. Their one hit was from a Prince song that he wrote for them and gave to them. Like Manic Monday from the Bangles, that's a Prince song that launched them.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know
Sinead
that.
O'Connor's big song. That was a Prince song. He wrote it. Nothing Compares to You. That's her biggest hit. Prince wrote that and gave it to her.
Jeez. That's pretty crazy.
So there's a lot of songs out there that Prince wrote and gave to other artists that helped make their career.
Man. So are you
probably wouldn't have had a career if he hadn't launched them with a good song.
True. Very true. Are you a big music fan yourself? Do you listen to a lot of music?
I am a huge music fan. My tastes are very eclectic, though.
Really? Mine are pretty crazy. Mine are all over the place. Like I like anything really. But what's your taste in music?
Well, I think 98% of what I listen to is foreign music.
Foreign
like
music.
Everyone looks at me and my age and they think classic rock. I don't listen to I haven't listened to classic rock in years. I heard it all growing up nonstop. I can't listen to it anymore. I've been done with it for years. I've heard all those songs. So I listen to a lot of K-pop. I think the best band out there right now is Mamamoo. A lot of people don't know who they are, but they're like the platinum standard for me. Their vocals are amazing, the way they harmonize together. And the thing I like about that group the most is when they're performing together, you get a sense of real friendship with them. And it always adds to a band to me. You get those bands that don't like each other, they just get out there and they perform the songs, and there's a little bit of soullessness to it.
Yeah.
their friendship always comes through, and they're all successful solo artists, so they all put out their own solo acts. And what's fun about them too is when they get back together and they do their Mamamoo tour and they put out a new Mamamoo album.
Yeah,
they know each other's solo songs. So a different member of the group will sing someone else's solo, and they all switch it up.
oh, that's pretty sweet.
So it's a lot. So I listen to a lot of K-pop. So right now, like a lot of, where's my music? Where's my thing?
Now,
So
how did you pick up on K-pop?
Just because I watch a lot of different stuff, and then you hear a song. I don't really know, but so we have like right now my playlist, like you got Mamamoo, G Idol, you got We in there, you got Moonbyul, you got Chungha, you got Sunmi, and
I've
then
never heard of any of those.
so good. And then of
I've never
course
heard of
there's a
any
lot
of
of there's a lot of I like Romanian pop as well. So you have artists like Alexandra Stan and Ina Romania, who is great. I like a lot of Ukrainian pop as well, and you have people like Dora Fiva and Klava Koka, who are incredible, and NK,
Wow.
and all these amazing artists. And I love foreign music. Just like when I watch foreign cinema, like I love foreign cinema. Like I just did a top 5 like horror thing, and
Nice.
3 of my top 5 horrors that I've watched last year were all foreign movies.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, like I had a K-horror one on there, Parasite the Grey, which was on Netflix, which is amazing. Then I had 2 Argentinian horror movies. You had Legions, and you had When Evil Lurks, just 2 great disturbing horror flicks. And then for a couple American films, I had Abigail and Late Night with the Devil, which were both great for different reasons. But my tastes are really all over the place. I'm always the guy that doesn't like what everybody else likes. I've always liked my own thing. I'm not scared to like my own thing. I'm not scared of people giving me looks because I'm listening to something they think is stupid.
I like that.
Yeah, it's just I like what I like, and that's it.
That reminds me of myself. Like I feel like I'm over here in right field and everybody else is in left field sometimes with my tastes. But yeah, so I can totally relate to that. And I think that's cool, man. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you Gary B.
I mean, well, if anyone watches my shorts, it's almost exclusively K-pop songs that I use on them.
Nornrad says Korea killing it on Netflix.
They are.
I haven't seen any of these. I need to check them out. I wrote down
Parasite the Grey is amazing. I can't wait for season 2 of it.
I wrote that down.
It was 6 episodes, and it was incredible.
That's the
I gotta watch
Insect
Creature next. Because the Princess of Comic Games was telling me I got to watch that one, so that's my next one.
Yeah, I wrote it down just now so I can check it out if it's on Netflix. Well, getting back to comics, man, what is it about the hobby that kept you interested? That kept you interested all these years? What is it about?
Well,
comics?
I mean, I've been in and out of it, especially because I've moved a lot.
Yes, you kind of went in phases where you were in and phases where you weren't collecting.
Because I collected Spider-Man for a long time. Like I had all those McFarlane issues. I had like 6, 7 copies of 300, but I sold them all while I was moving because I didn't want to move comics. So like any collector that's been in the game a while and you're in and out, you've sold stuff for next to nothing. That would it's all hindsight stuff all the time, right?
True.
But I didn't get back into comics again until 2019 when Conan was coming back into Marvel.
Okay.
And and I was like, all right, Conan's back, getting into it. And then started collecting again, and all of a sudden all my favorite characters started coming out with stuff that had never had their own things, right? Like you had Black Cat coming out with her own series, and Jed McKay killed that. And you had Captain Marvel make a big resurgence, and her series have been really good, especially the Kelly Thompson run. That was a great 50 issues, so tight, so good, great character development. Just so many good things were coming out with characters that I really like. So
do you have favorite artists or do you have favorite writers that you follow? And
obviously Jim Zub, who's been doing great with Conan over at Titan.
Oh, Titan.
And I loved his 12 issues of Conan over at Marvel. So Jim Zub, growing up, it was always Roy Thomas. He was always my favorite.
Awesome.
And then you also had another great writer, and Bill Mantlo. I love Bill Mantlow's writing from back in the day before he had his accident. That dude wrote the whole ROM series, beginning to end. It's incredible. I've read it. I have it here. ROM is just incredible. All written by Bill Mantlo, the whole thing. Bill Mantlo is a great writer. For modern writers, though, I like Jed MacKay a lot. I think Jed MacKay just is good at everything he touches.
Yeah,
I think Jason Aaron's pretty decent.
Yeah,
I like Kelly Thompson. I think Kelly Thompson's amazing. Anything Kelly Thompson writes is always solid.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and what I like about the writers I'm mentioning is they know the characters they're writing. They just don't get the thing and just write what they want. They take the time to learn the history, to learn what makes the characters tick, to learn what the right ways are to develop those characters.
Okay. Well, Justin,
it'd be so easy, like Jed MacKay with Black Cat. Like he made a friendship and a bond between Felicia and MJ. Any other writer would have just had them always being catty and fighting against each other.
That is true.
They would have took the simple route out, right? It just would have been boring. It would have been horrible. Instead, he made like this deep friendship, and they're connected through this one guy, but they have their own separate thing. And Peter doesn't get in the way of that. And, seeing him develop a friendship with two people that shouldn't get along and make them actually care about each other and give them connective tissue has been great. And I just thought it was amazing, right? And yet Gary Dugan's a great writer too. Whatever he touches, he understands the character. Like that first Savage Avengers run shouldn't have worked. It was incredible. One of the best, my opinion, beginning to end story arcs in comic history. The ending was great. It had, any other writer would have took Conan in that series and just had him go back in time and kill the villain. He didn't. He understood who the character was. Conan went back in time. He didn't kill the guy in the time. He used it because Conan has empathy, because he has a code of honor, and Conan did something completely different that was within character. And when I read that, I was like, oh, he understands.
Well, crap. My comments froze up on me. Let me get my comments back. There we go. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're all right.
Justin was asking a second ago, I wasn't trying to ignore your question, Justin, but he was asking, out of all the different series, because Conan, has been on Marvel Comics and then Titans doing the new series.
Yeah, he's been over at Dark Horse.
Which one's been your favorite out of all of them?
The original Marvel run's my favorite.
Really?
The original 70s run. Now, having said that, the run that's going on right now at Titan Comics is just as good as that Marvel 70s run. I don't think Conan's ever been written stronger as it was in the 70s and right now. Both right now at Titan in the in the 70s Conan, both incredible.
Now, how do you feel about because I've been picking up the Savage Sword of Conan, the magazine format. Are you picking that one up?
Oh, of course. Because I have the whole original run. I have all 235 issues of that.
Wow, that is crazy. There's some really good cover art. There's some beautiful art in those books.
Oh yeah, some of my favorite fantasy artists worked on those series, like Earl Norham, who no one talks about, Ken Kelly, just icons.
Yeah. I just wanted to know how you felt about that one, if you were grabbing that one at all.
Yeah, they've had 13 issues of it. Oh, well, the new title, they have 13 issues out, and I already got a short box of covers.
Oh, geez.
And for
the Virgins too.
Yeah, and for the new Savage Sword, they got 3 issues out, and I got this many covers.
Holy crap! For 3 issues.
For 3 issues, yeah.
But it's
I'm reading it.
It's great stories and it's beautiful artwork, though. So I don't blame you.
Well, and what I like is that they're bringing in other Robert E. Howard characters in. There's going to be a whole Robert E. Howard universe with characters like Dark Agnes, Solomon Kane, King Kull, Bran McMorn, John Carolyn, all these characters that are great Robert E. Howard characters, but the general public mostly just knows Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the best characters he's ever written is Solomon Kane. I love Solomon Kane. He's always in contrast with himself with everything that he experiences. And other one is Dark Agnes de Chastelon, who's one of the most brutal intro stories ever. And Robert E. Howard only wrote 2.5 of her stories before he died. And someone else finished the third one. And they did a decent job. But the first one, so brutal, you know.
I don't think I've ever checked those out before. I have a couple of the issues of the Solomon Kane series, the Marvel series. Yeah, CJ,
Yep, I have all those.
You have all those?
I have every Solomon Kane that Marvel put out. I have every call that Marvel put out. Jeez. I have the whole original run of Conan the Barbarian. I have all 275, the 12 annuals, the 5 giant size. I have all the treasuries.
Wow. So you have it all pretty much when it comes to Conan and that whole universe.
Right. There's only some the only holes I have are some Dark Horse.
Damn, that's impressive. Now, I know one other thing that me and you have in common is we like a lot of the same female characters.
We do.
You're a big fan of Spider-Woman, all the different Spider-Women. You're a big fan of Silver Sable. I'm
actually reading through her run right now, the Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. I'm reading through that.
I'm a big fan of that run from childhood. That I don't know why I gravitated to that book when I was a kid, but Silver Sable was a book that I read when I was a kid. I must have thought she was hot or something, but I was grabbing them for a reason. And I do remember enjoying those books as a kid. But yeah, man, I always thought that was really cool that we had.
Dazzler, the one, I think the main one we have in common. And I've collected I have every Jessica Drew series here. I've collected all the Jessica Drews.
And there's quite a few. I mean, I think one of the volumes is pretty short, but that's pretty impressive though to have all of. I don't have all. At one time, I had most of the first volume, but I ended up selling it off, and I regret selling it off. But it's a cool run. It
is the original Spider-Woman.
Volume 1, yeah,
I love it. It's a little all over the place because it suffered the same thing all those other series did back then, where they kept changing the creative team.
Yeah.
Is there one book in your Conan Grill? There is. It's a Dark Horse one, right? So Dark Horse did a Conan book, and it had a topless cover. There's Conan on it, and there's a girl laying there topless. Just because she's topless, that book's like a $200-300 book.
Oh wow.
So if I ever found that one at a good price, I would add that to the collection just to have it.
Does Gary have any of the Conan pulps?
I have a ton of the Conan pulps. I have some of the Ace Conan pulps. I have some of the the Lancer Conan pulps. I have some of the Tor Conan pulps. I have Conan pulps from all the eras.
That's awesome.
Plus, I got the ones they're releasing now. I got the digital ones they're releasing. Plus, I have the ones that Chuck Dixon's writing from outside the country, because Conan is royalty free character outside of the States. And Chuck Dixon's writing some good Conan, because he wrote good Conan at Marvel too.
Yeah. Silver Sable was introduced through Spider-Man.
And I had that first appearance a bunch over here. I think I have like 3 or 4 copies of it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
I got it slabbed, and then I got the second print slab because I like the silver cover.
I was gonna say the second print's really cool as well with the silver. Yeah. A lot of those older Marvel second prints I think are really cool.
Yeah, but I'm a huge Silver Sable fan, and then I even got the reprint in the Marvel Tales because it had a different cover with Silver Sable on it.
So you're a completionist. You got to have it all.
I don't have it all, but yeah, I try to get as much as I can.
So what's a run that you're currently working on? What's a work in progress for you right now?
Oh, let's see. I mean, I got the first Savage She-Hulk run. I got the Dazzler run almost 3 times over.
Wow. I almost have it twice.
I got the Silver Sable almost twice over.
I'm working on that one. I'm working Silver Sable.
Let's see. What am I working on that's not complete?
Do you have all the Volume 2 She-Hulk Sensational?
No, that's one series I never collected. I'd like to get it, but that's 50 issues. But now they're so outpriced. It's like I can't pay that price per issue for 50 issues.
It's tough. I'm working on
that. The first one's my favorite, the Savage. So
I want to. I never see Savage. I never see those in bins. Believe it or not, I just never.
Luckily,
see
I got
them.
all 25 here, and how I got that was just luck. So I got 2 copies of #1. I got a newsstand and a direct, but I had bought a box from Jimmy Jam's garage sale on Instagram, who does good boxes. He always does them for like $40.
Oh,
And then
cool.
so I bought a box, and then he does the spin on the wheel, and you win a prize.
Mhm.
All the people who buy a box are in for a grand prize. And there was 3 choices. There was like these 2 great slabs, or you could get the Savage She-Hulk run 1 through 24, just missing 25. I chose the Savage She-Hulk run. I just had to
Nice.
get 25, and I was able to complete it because I just won it. So I put it together cheap.
That I would have picked the run. And even though that last issue is kind of tough to find, how hard was it to find the final issue? Because
Not bad. I got a slab copy and a raw copy.
oh, sweet. So it wasn't hard to find at all.
No, and what I love about that series is nobody talks about how good Mike Vosberg's work was on it. Mike Vosberg carried that series for a while. His art was so good. His covers were incredible. His interior art was fantastic. There's so many of these great creators that are lost in the time, right? Mike Vosberg was a great creator. He was an everyman doing issues of things everywhere, right? Just like Pat Broderick, all these great artists of the time that were just Al Milgrom, just putting into work, doing all these covers, keeping the comics coming out monthly and on time. And they just don't get the recognition of what are considered the big names, where their body of work is just as important because those books didn't exist without their contributions.
That's very true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, speaking of books, man, you put out a book of your own earlier this year.
I did.
I definitely wanted to talk about that. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I wanted to. Well, can you tell us what it's about?
Sure. So it takes place in a little town called Harper's Hollow.
Well, what's the name of it? It's titled Need, right?
It's titled Need.
Yeah.
All right, and in this town, there's this woman named Alexis, which at the time it wasn't a thing. So I can now, if I say Alexis, all my stuff lights up asking me what I want to get because of Amazon. But so she works in this toy factory, and there's these alien parasites hiding out there. They're refugees from their own planet, where this other entity went to destroy them, because wherever they go, these parasites take over and they destroy the whole culture. This one gets out. She's dying. There's a factory fire where she's at. She loses her arm in the fire. This parasite gets in her, and she blacks out as she's burning to death, and she's choking to death in the smoke. And then when she comes to again, she's in a cocoon at home, and this parasite's bonded with her. And then it's her, and she's this person that's been abused her whole life. And now her and this parasite together kind of become this super horrific being. And they're able to adapt to whatever's around them. And it's kind of like a villain. This is more of a villain story, but a villain you can sympathize with, because she's the way she is because of how she's always been treated. So anything she's doing, you kind of, I get it,
Right.
So it's a villain story. It's the rise of a villain.
That sounds awesome.
And I like short. I think it's because of what I grew up reading. I like short form fiction a lot. I think that has a lot to do with reading Robert E. Howard when I was young, and all his stories are short form.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like a pulp writer in the way I approach things.
Yeah.
So this was a 40 pager. I got real lucky. I had a good friend of mine who's super smart, write the foreword, Geek Spot 82, super nice dude. He's published his own comics before.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
I had a great artist, and Danny Fisher, reach out to me, and he did the cover for me.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the cover.
And he has a great series on YouTube. He's at Drawing Conversation. He does a great series where he draws a whole piece, and while he's drawing the piece, he gives you the history of that character that he's drawing, and he does it really great. And plus, he's on IG at Drawing Conversation. So I asked Danny, I'm like, all right, how much do you want to work on the cover? He wouldn't take any money.
What? That's sweet.
So he helped me. Because of him, because of
That's a blessing, man.
right, because of Geek Spot 82, because of
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 people in the community who were proofreading for me. Like CJ. CJ was a proofreader for me.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Pocan Joe. So a few people in the
Nice.
community that were helping me saying, "Oh, you got a little thing you got to fix here. You got a little thing you got to fix there."
That's
Giving me
good to
good
have.
suggestions. Without all these people helping me and being a part of it, this wouldn't have came out the way it came out. And then once it came out, I had the support of Legion of Comics and DJ Links, who promoted the hell out of this and helped it get launched in the comic community. I mean, the first couple weeks of this out, I sold 300 copies, which wouldn't have happened without them helping promote it.
Jeez, man, that's fantastic. And everybody said such high praises about the book. Everybody's told me that it's so fantastic, and I definitely do want to pick up a copy because I want to read it. It sounds really, really cool. But yeah, man, everybody said that it's fantastic.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not for everybody. It's extremely adult.
That's what I've heard.
There's a lot of sex in it, but it's not gratuitous. It's because it's in there because it's part of the story.
So it has a point.
If it didn't have a point, it wouldn't be in there.
Okay. CJ says he'll do the cover on the next one for you, Gary, for the fee of your soul.
I thought CJ already had my soul. Huh. I must have a little bit left.
Nice.
No, CJ gave me great advice, and he was CJ didn't have to, CJ's really smart. CJ's a really good guy, and he's someone whose opinion I hold in high regard. And I sent it out to him. He was gracious enough to read it. And I knew if I sent it to CJ, one, I knew I could trust him with it.
Yeah.
I knew it wouldn't go any further than him and I. Same with Pocan Joe. And two, I knew that he could give me some insights into things that I needed to tweak on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Izzy popped in. He said, "What's up, Izzy? Thanks for joining us, man." He said, "Hey guys, congrats on the success of Need, Gary. Thanks for doing the comic fight, champ." So you won. I take it you won the comic fight the other night.
I did. It was fun. But
Sweet.
I mean, Jim and I were joking about it, right? Because that was a tough fight because Jim and I like the same things. Jim and I have it's like you and I, we have a lot of things that we collect in common.
Yeah, Jim's awesome. Jim's a really cool guy. Phil, second that. Good times. Awesome. CJ says he does not sugarcoat. We know that, CJ.
No, but that's the perfect type of person you want to read something.
Absolutely.
Look, if you're going to put something out, don't send it to people that are going to blow smoke up your butt and tell you how good it is when it's not.
That's
good.
the last thing that you would want is like,
You
yes,
know,
man. You don't want that.
If you're putting something out, like for me, I know this story's not for everybody because of the subject matter.
And that's okay.
But for the people it's for, I wanted it to be the best product it could be that I'm putting out. And you can't do that without giving it to people that'll tell you certain things. Like Mikhail, who did the foreword. He read it. He gave me great advice. He caught a few things in it. And here's the thing. If you're editing yourself, you can only catch so much because your brain reads over things.
Yeah, that's true. And you're staring at it so long.
I read this 50, 60 times, and there was things that they all told me that I didn't catch because you're so close to it, you don't notice some things. And you need those outside opinions to help you make what you're doing better.
I could totally get that. I could see
and you can't be a sensitive sissy about it. You just got to go, oh, okay. And and sometimes the advice isn't right, but you'll know that when it is.
So you have to be able to take criticism.
I had someone tell me like I need to change something. I'm like, no, that's who the character is. I can't change that part. Yeah. And it was the right call to not change it. But for the most part, like 90% of the advice I got, I used because it was correct.
Oh, well, that's
and it made what I was doing better.
Izzy says, "That's how I am for art. I used to be an art director for an indie comic publisher." I did not know that, Izzy. That's very cool. Thanks for sharing that with us, man. What got you into writing? Because I know this isn't your first book. You have written books previously, correct?
Well, I've written at home, like since I was a kid for myself. I once in class we had a short story assignment, and like mine got picked, and it was just some weird horror Birdman thing I wrote.
Oh,
But
sweet. Horror.
the teacher really liked it. It got picked. So I've always wrote, but I did when I wanted to find my voice. I broke into erotica first because I'm like, well, if you can't write steamy sex scenes, you probably shouldn't write anything because
Yeah.
if people aren't gonna. So that was just my view. I'm sure it's much harder to write than that, but I figured if I could make it there, I can make it writing something else. But what that allowed me to do is find my voice, find my style of writing, like how I put things on the page, how I develop characters. Because I'll do a loose, like in my mind, I have a loose base of how things are going to go. But when I'm writing, the story always changes because the characters become their own entity. And what you thought was right for the character isn't right for the character anymore. And it's got to go in a different direction.
Ah, okay. So I'm learning stuff. Well, do you plan on writing any
Sorry,
book?
work.
Oh no, you're fine, man. You're okay. We're just hanging
go
out.
ahead.
Do you have? Are you planning on writing any books in the future? Do you have anything coming up that you're working on?
I am. So I just did a base outline of the new thing I'm working on now. Hopefully I'll get it done by this year. I'm going to start going hard on it. I'm going to try to do a page a day starting August 1st is my tentative start date. But I got a new story in the works called the working title right now is Broken Angel and Shotgun Jesus. So I'm sure just the title alone is going to offend some people.
I like it though. I like it. It's going to stand out.
And it's completely different from The Need. It's still a horror story. It's got sci-fi elements in it. It's got some hero elements in it. It's got the brutality it's going to have the brutality of the boys in it. So it's going to be no holds barred brutal.
Oh man. Okay.
No sex in this one because it's not called for the story. It has nothing to do with the character's development. So there's not going to be any of that in it. So some people might be disappointed in that. Some people might be looking forward to that. But pretty much if I write something, it's going to be vastly different from anything I did before.
Nice. So cool. So we can expect something totally different and fresh and new. That's always good. That's always good. And it's good to challenge yourself.
Whether it's good or not, it tends to be seen, but we'll see what happens.
And it's good to challenge yourself and do different things as well.
Katie.
So you said the Need she was more of a villain type character. So this one will be more hero based. So that's cool.
Kind of, but the villain in this is going to be really nasty. It starts out with child murder.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's brutal. What's up, Katie? Thanks for joining us at K-pop in the house. Now,
but there's going to be some twists that are already planned for it that people hopefully don't see coming.
Now, when can we expect to? Now, it's still a work in progress.
It's probably going to be over a year because I don't know. Okay. Like, I have an idea how many pages I want to write, but that's just an idea. It could go longer, it could go shorter. It depends how the story develops as I'm writing it.
Well, because
I kind of have an idea where it starts. I have an idea what happens in the middle, and I have an idea where it's going to end. But the narrative always changes on the journey.
Okay. Like
I said, because certain things happen, and all of a sudden, what you had planned for a character isn't right for that character's development anymore. You got to go a different way.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if you're like when you're writing something, these characters live in your head and they get their own voices, and all of a sudden, something you thought was right for them isn't in character for them anymore, and you just can't do it.
No, I totally get it. Yeah, they would they take on a life of their own, and yeah, no, I get it.
But if I could for a second, anyone that's out there that's read this, I would still love reviews on Amazon, good, bad, or indifferent. Just your honest review. Reviews help this book keep getting noticed and turning up in the search engines. Yeah, because the more reviews it gets, the better it is when it gets searched.
That was actually going to be the next thing I could ask is how can people help you as far as like with the books and stuff? What's the best way that people can support you in your writing career?
Reviews. And one of the reasons I went through Amazon, right, is I didn't want to do Kickstarter route. I thought about it.
Okay.
But with Kickstarter route, if you're asking somebody to buy a single issue from you, they're already in $20 just for one issue.
Yeah.
And comics are just too pricey now. It's hard. I was able to make this, set it up on Amazon, I was able to charge $6.99 for a paperback, and I was also able to put it out there digitally for $2.99 worldwide. So anyone in the world can buy this book digitally, and it's $3 or whatever the conversion is for their country.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So
that's very
it's
affordable.
available in a bunch of different ways in a bunch of different formats. And another reason I wanted to do it through Amazon is it doesn't have that limitation of Kickstarter where you can't go international. I was instantly able to have a book that was available to buy anywhere.
Worldwide. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
And
cool.
all it took was me learning their format and how to submit.
How hard was that to learn?
Super easy. They really walk you through it. It's not hard at all.
Oh, okay.
You can learn it in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing the book as you get it rolling and getting start to pull it together. I look forward to seeing that in the future, man. But I wanted to talk about the channel a little bit as well. Gary B,
Sure.
the Casual Comic Guy. How did Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy, the channel? How did that start? How did that become a thing? What made you want to start the channel up? And when did you start the channel up?
I started in 2019. Like I said, I started with the COVID thing. But the reason I started it is, and I've said this on a lot of other interviews, when we were growing up, it was all about having cable TV, right?
Yeah.
You wanted cable TV. You're a kid.
Oh,
you
yeah.
wanted cable TV. You wanted to be able to talk
Definitely.
about the shows your friends are watching with them and stuff like that. So in this generation with our children, it's YouTube. They don't care about cable TV. They care about YouTube. Everything they watch is on YouTube. They watch content creators. They don't watch regular programming as much. And my kid was big into a couple different people on YouTube. And I'm like, well, if he's going to do his own, at that time, he's changed since then. Like at that time, he wanted to do his own channel when he got older. So I'm like, well, I better learn about it. So I created the channel thinking it was only going to be a month or two experiment to learn about it. So if he got on, I could help protect him and guide him.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then the reason it's called the Casual Guy is I just wanted something that's different from the day-to-day stresses we go through in life. Like I didn't want to be stressed out like I am at my day job. I didn't want to be stressed out over life situations. I wanted, if I was going to do this, it had to be a hobby where I was going there to relax and get away from everything else.
Nice.
So I created it to be my Zen spot after that.
Awesome. And it's done really successful. Your channel is doing really well. You get good views. You put out good content. I love watching your live streams.
I'm like, I guess.
Well, there's always a takeaway.
My videos get okay watches. My lives do well. My regular content, because I'm very niche, moderate views, which I'm okay with because the core audience I speak with are the people I want to talk to.
Yeah, and that's what matters. What's your favorite type of content to make?
My favorite content is the 1011. I love doing that show. It's something I thought of. It's something I created on a whim that popped into my head while I was driving one day. And I just love it because it's just purely about people talking about why they love what they have. It's not about the value of something monetarily that's in your collection. I don't care if you come on and show all 50-cent coverless books. It doesn't matter. The only requirement for that show is people love what they have and that they have a sentimental connection to it. And I just love hearing people's stories. And I also like it because it's a format I can play around with. It doesn't have to be limited to comics. We've already had a couple game board edition 1011s. We already had an album. Yeah, we already had an album 1011. We're going to have another one coming up with Mark Andrews. Tomorrow night, we have our first action figure 1011 with Dave Bratton, where it's just going to be all about toys. It's just all action figures.
Man,
so I like it because the format's also versatile. I'm not locked into one thing with it. I can have fun with the format. I can play with it. I can adjust it to other things. And so I get to keep meeting creators and collectors that have personal attachment to things, and they're coming on and through their own graciousness are giving us a glimpse into their souls and why they love something. Like what I like is on that show, you see things you don't see on other channels, right? Like you'll see a book that that no one will talk about because it's not a spec-worthy book, or it's not something someone can flip. It's just something somebody loves because the story attaches to them in a certain way, or a creator attaches, or there was their first experience with this writer or artist. There's something sentimental about it, and that's why I like doing the show.
And that's why I love your show, so the 1011, so much, because I'm a sentimental collector. I'm a super sentimental guy. It's not really the value of, I do collect comic books that are valuable. Don't get me wrong, but like,
well, everybody does. But there's enough shows about that.
Yeah. But like a lot of, I love hearing about why somebody is drawn to a certain book, why this book means so much to you, why this book means so much to that person. I love hearing those stories. That's my favorite thing to hear about in this hobby. And plus you learn stuff too. Like you learn things, people tell you information about books that you didn't know before. So you're always taking away some good information from that show. So it is, man. It was a good idea, and it's a good show. What's up, Seth 11?
Yeah, and I have the same crowd that shows up all the time, right? So I've developed a community in those shows that come and they hang out, they say hi to each other, they talk to each other.
Yep.
And I do what I can. Like if you're new and coming into that community, you're new because you like the content. You're not coming in. So my buddy who I used to do when he was really active on here, Jimmy the Don.
Okay.
Jimmy all right, Small Town Collectibles. On his interview show, 10 Questions with Small Town Collectibles. Mm-hmm. I forgot the guest he had on, but the guest was talking about giveaways, and I was like one of those people that was doing this too, right?
Yep.
Oh, I got 100 subs. I got to do a giveaway. My first 100 subs. Oh, my first 500 subs. I got to do a giveaway. Oh, all of a sudden you get in this landmark thing. I got to do a giveaway for this. I got to do a giveaway for that. And this guy came in and talked about doing giveaways and why he stopped doing them on his channel. And I pretty much stopped doing it too, unless it's to promote somebody else. Mm-hmm. Because I don't, and I coined a phrase on, I think it was on DJ Lynx's channel, where I said giveaway trolls. And then DJ ran off with that phrase, and he still uses it.
It's a thing.
Like, the giveaway trolls, they don't really add to your community. They hurt your, in my opinion. I could be wrong. No, all this is my opinion. Right. But they come in and they disrupt the community that's talking with each other. And when you want to reward the people that are there for you every week, it's usually not them that wins something. It's usually the giveaway troll that's going to be at your channel for 10 seconds, win something, and never show back up.
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. I agree.
So it's just more, I like to keep the people that are invested in the community as pure as possible. If you're there because you want to be a part of that community, because you're engaged in what that community is about, not because there's a prize you can run away with at the end of it.
Yeah. And that's a big lesson that I've learned as a content creator and doing YouTube and stuff, is like the subscriber number means nothing if you don't have the organic growth attached to it. If you don't have the people that show up regularly and have those people like you have at 1011, the subscriber numbers don't mean anything.
Right. Well, I've talked about that with some, it is not your creation, CJ. I coined that a long time ago before you even touched it, buddy.
There's prize lizards. We got prize lizards as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. No. You know what? Hold on. Prize lizard was mine. Giveaway trolls is CJ's. I'm old and I misspoke. All right. CJ's gonna love this. CJ is right. Giveaway trolls is CJ's. Prize lizards is mine.
There you go, CJ. You got that.
So because I said prize lizard on DJ's. I said prize lizards on DJ's channel, and that stuck with DJ. Giveaway trolls is CJ's. See, I had to amend myself because CJ is right there. Yes, it's a lizard thing I created. I'm sorry, CJ. I didn't mean to. I think giveaway troll is the last one I heard, so it stuck in my head.
We got Manny. What's up, Manny? Welcome.
Hey, Manny. But that's like the one biggest thing I learned from Jimmy's interviews. Like when that guy was speaking about it, I was like, it's so true. And then once I stopped that, like the community wasn't as disrupted. You didn't have people, and a lot of those people that come in that want to win something, all they do is spam your chat. So your chat's trying to talk to themselves, and you got one person going hashtag giveaway 70 times in there when you only need to do it once.
Okay.
And they
I
just
can
keep
see that.
spamming it, and or they'll come in and they'll start, or someone else will win, and they'll start getting mad at someone that's a regular, calling, saying that it was just given to them. And so for me, those people are very toxic, and I just don't want them in the community. I don't want them to hurt the people that are regulars there that have built up what I have, because it's the community that helps build you up.
Absolutely. No, you're exactly right. And
And
I've never.
when we were talking, like I've gone to channels, and this isn't all of them, but I've gone to channels that have 6,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, and they got them right, but it's full of air, because you can go to one of your lives, you can go to one of my lives, you can go to one of Rob's lives, you can go to a DJ live, you can go to a Mark from Legion of Comics live.
Theirs is blowing up. Yeah,
we
they got
have
great cats.
we have set people that are always at our lives in our community, right?
That's
But
true.
you can go to some of these other channels, and they'll have triple your subscribers, and they'll have one person in the chat, and sometimes it's them under a different account.
Yeah, I have noticed. I have seen that before.
So it's like,
yeah.
what good is it to have all the subscribers if you're getting 12 views on a live stream?
Nothing. It does you no good at all. It
Right.
looks good. It looks good when you go to their channel at first, and that's it. But yeah. Well, what do you got coming up on the channel? You got anything cool coming up that you could tell us about on the Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy YouTube channel?
Yeah. So first, I would recommend going back to my last 2 Saturdays, where I got to stream with one of my favorite people in the community, Torsen, the Varangian Vigilante. He used to have his own channel before the laws got weird in his country, so he just shut the channel down.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
This guy is so smart, has an eidetic memory, not PC at all, which I love. He just says what he means and feels. Probably one of the smartest people in the community, a Conan scholar for sure.
Oh, so wow.
We just reviewed the first year of Conan. We did a live stream of that 2 weeks ago, and then this last Saturday we did top 4 artists that we each want to see go over to Titan and get a chance at drawing a Conan story.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
We did that. I put little slideshows together for it, so it looked nice. Cool. But coming up tomorrow, like I said, we have the 10-1-1, and it is the first action figure one. It's going to be with Dave Bratton.
Yeah.
So he's already been on with comics. Now he's coming on with action figures. Go check out his YouTube channel, Action Figure Comedy, where he does little skits with action figures.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that's really good. So you can sub up to him. If you go to my show and bookmark it, go in the description. His links are there. You can also find him on Instagram under Action Figure Comedy, and you can see him a lot on Anachronic Comics channel. I wore the shirt so I could promote Joe tonight.
Nice. I like the shirt.
So Anachronic Comics, you can see him a lot over there. You can see me on Joe's channel too. You can see Joe a lot on my channel. Joe will be a guest host tomorrow night, along with me and Steve White and Mark Andrews.
Steve, awesome. Yeah, that's a great panel.
We're gonna be doing that. Coming up on Thursday, we have part of the low grade. We have J2 from the low grades on, making his 10-1-1 debut.
Nice. Heck yeah. And
then we'll have Jason Douglas coming on in a month to promote his new Kickstarter that's coming out, and K-pop Katie will be joining me. And it's funny because a lot of independent people come to me to come on my show.
Yep.
And the first thing I do is send them to Katie because she does it better than anybody else.
It's fun. Katie does a great live stream when she talks to these.
Katie is the best for independence, and anybody that says she's not is just wrong and jealous of her. She is the gold standard for that. And I send everyone. I'm like, look, you can come on my channel, but you should really go on her channel for it.
For sure. I would agree with going on both of you guys' channels. I think that you both do a great job.
You should go on all the channels you can. But you should definitely, Katie should always be your first stop.
Hey, Cliff, thanks for coming out, man. Now, I am so looking forward to the toy collector. You having doing the show on toys, man. That's I didn't know that you did that, but
It's going to be the first one.
That's
So,
going to be
like
fun.
I said, the thing I like is I get to play with the format, right? Because I'm not stuck on one thing. It's not like the Silver Age 1011 where all you can do is show Silver Age comics or something. You know what I mean? You can do anything with it. You can apply it to different things. You know, maybe I'll do a 1011 with Funkos one time and have a Funko person on. You never know.
If you do, I know some Funko collectors, some pretty.
I know a couple too. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, they're out there for sure.
Yeah, because I think I'm probably going to reach out to Key Tons of Fun and try to get them on the show.
Sweet, that will be good.
But
now, I'm into. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of still things I got coming up. Sorry, my the allergies didn't get me and the voice is going. So we got J2. So then next month, like I said, J2 kicks off the month from the low grade. So come check him out.
Awesome.
And then in August, we have Mark Andrews on the 8th doing the second album one. I had the 6 drop out, so I have to fill in the 6. So if any of you creators are out there and you want to come on the 1011, at least for the next week until I schedule it, because I'm going to reach out to people this week. But if you want to get to it before I reach out to anyone to fill in the 6, now's the time to reach out to me, and you can get that. You can get that slot. Otherwise, I'm going to reach out and fill it up in the next couple days. So I'll give everyone to this Saturday if anyone wants that August 6th slot. It's one of the only ones I need to fill in August because I had to reschedule somebody.
What day does that fall on?
That's a Tuesday, August 6th.
Sweet. You heard it here. If anybody wants to jump on it, I'm tempted to myself, but I'll give you guys first opportunity. If any of you guys want to hit him up, do so. It's going to be fun.
Right. But, and the fun part about this show is I didn't think it'd be going as long as it does. Like I had no problem filling slots.
Oh no doubt. People want to do it because it's a good time. I came on the one time and did comic books and I had a great time. So anytime you want me to come back, man, hit me up. I'm ready to come back. It was fun. But
and that's what I like too, right? That's why it's not a top 10. It's just 10 favorites. Because we all have hundreds of favorites. You can keep coming on the show over and over again and showing stuff.
Seth says, I need a 3-hour chat with Mark Andrews and all these got. He's a giant. I think you said that. He's a giant.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is tall.
Oh, okay. Well, Gary, man, it's been fun. Thank you so much. I know it's been a busy couple days for you, so I really appreciate you working me into your schedule, man.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, awesome. Like from here, I'm gonna go take another hour nap and then head in for my overnight shift. But awesome. Thank you for having me on. I had a lot of fun. I think the last time I was on your show, we did toys, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, me, you, and Frank. Maybe Tony. Yeah, we had a group of us. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's always fun being on these live streams with you. I enjoy. We have similar interests as far as certain things we collect, and
just added this to it. Oh, I didn't even know they made this Tigra.
I'd never seen that Tiger before, but that's awesome. That is really cool.
Got it for $5.
Oh, sweet. That's a steal.
That and Wolfsbane.
What? That's beautiful. I love that.
Oh, that's Lady Death. Hold on. Here's Wolfsbane. Awesome, where she has like the freaky hair, like the real hair.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that one either.
Yeah, I don't. This was a weird little series. Like all the figures in this Marvel Hall of Fame.
There's a Dazzler in that series.
I don't have the Dazzler. I gotta find it.
She has weird rollerblades instead of skates.
They're all ugly. All these figures are so ugly. They're horrible. They're fun.
Yeah,
like, I have the She-Hulk one. It's disgustingly ugly. The hair is horrid.
Well, the Dazzler, it's really, really bad. First off, but I still want it. But she has rollerblades instead of roller skates.
Oh, so, weird.
Yeah. Yes, it's
making her more savage, huh?
I guess. But anyways, man, I want you to go get some rest because I know that you probably need it. But I'm extremely grateful that you came here to hang out with us this evening. And anytime you want to come back, man, you're always welcome here.
No, thanks. I appreciate you asking. You know what it's like being a host of your own channel. No one ever asks you on things.
Yeah, man. After a little while, people just assume that.
And
Yeah,
I've been fortunate. I had a really fun time on Izzy's channel last week. This was a fun time, so thank you.
yeah, man. Of course, it's always fun. And I look forward to checking out all the upcoming stuff that you got, the shows and everything. Yeah, man, for sure. And thanks for being with us. Thank you guys in the chat, man. You guys were awesome tonight. Cliff, K-pop, Manny, Seth 11, Comet Pops, CJ, everybody that was in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys. Anybody catching the replay, thank you so much. Come back next week. Next Monday, we'll have a good show. Anybody that was a childhood fan of Jim Varney, Ernest P. Worrell, come hang out, man, because we're going to be talking about the new Ernest graphic novel. I'm looking forward to this a lot with writer Corey Perkins. So I'm sure it's going to be fun. So hopefully, let's see. It seemed like there was one more thing I had to mention. Oh man. See, I go blank on these live streams. What was the other thing I was going to mention? I don't know. Anyways, I'll think of it after we wrap up the live stream. You guys come back next week. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you guys next time. We'll end it how we always do with some Biggie Shaq. Later, guys.
I'd say that one is a banger, man. It's a real certified banger, dude.